Dear Leos, here we are. We're doing a now reading, which means your current situation. We're going to just let the cards dictate or open up and tell you what you need to know at this moment. Starting with the planet. I love to mix astrology. I think tarot and astrology are more than just cousins. You get eclipse. That could mean so many things. So we are going to draw right away out of the Zen Tarot. I only read upright in this deck. I do want to get that card before I say anything about that eclipse. A lot of people dread eclipses. I'm not so sure it's always so difficult. It surely is intense, but it doesn't have to be so difficult. Or at least not always. It does depend on your placements, of course, but let's see what comes out here. Okay, you get 3 cards. It's interesting. There's one card, these two came together. This one came separate, but I don't know if it's first or last. Okay, so that card is Totality. And then we have ripeness and patience. I'm going to put it after because I feel that with things that are ripe or that you're waiting on, since you need patience, you're how can I say this? I don't know if you're waiting for them to ripen, really. It feels separate. It's so strange because they came together, but I'm picking up that it's separate. But then the cards are contradicting me because it speaks of totality. But then maybe that's what you need to do. Bring them all together. I don't know if it's the eclipse card making me say something is separate. Like, let me explain that better. It's difficult even for me to articulate. It feels obvious to say that you'd be waiting for things to ripen. But I feel it's 2 different things. Something is already ripe, and yet you're patiently waiting for something. So I'm not exactly sure what that is. And it might be because it's hidden from view from the with the eclipse card. Let's look into the tarot and see if maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's really a combination. And then again, totality. What's total? I actually don't want to guess. I really want to see the tarot here. Six of Cups, and this is the Page of Cups but in reverse. This is what you're patient about. because the Page of Cups is in reverse. It's like you're something aligning. So two things need to come together for you to feel that it forms a totality. There's a timing piece, of course. Obviously, it pertains to love with the Page of Cups in reverse. You get 3 cards. They're all in reverse. 3 of Wands. 2 of Swords. I'm sorry, I wanted to look at the drawings. Look at this, they're fighting. Isn't it odd? And then the 8 of Pentacles. I lied, that one's upright. Not that I wanted to lie. It's interesting because you see how they're like, how do you call that? Discipline, wrestling. But the way that their bodies are like locked together, it forms like a circle, like a ball. It feels like that's totality, right? Like yin yang, glyph. What a strange card. You see, on this card, the 3 of Wands in reverse, you're ready. Something is ready. Something has arrived. Something is, it's ripe. It's, you could even say maybe you've even collected, touched the, you know, you got the prize. I don't know how to say it. Like you collected. And yet, you're still working at something. And that's the patience, the diligence, the discipline, the repetition, the routine, the effort. Okay, so initially it's really strange because the 2 cards here, the first 2 cards, Cups, they're pointing to someone you know, they're pointing to someone you like, but from whom you are not either receiving any messages, any gestures. For me, it points to a relationship. And yet, there are 2 sets of energies where you're steadfast, you're sort of, how do you say steadfast at work here? Gosh. And yet you're caught up in some sort of squabble. You need to be patient in terms of achieving totality. You're waiting for 2 things that are complementary. The yin yang, I was kind of superimposing as an image on this glyph or this depiction on this card, is like 2 things needing to come together, and it's not yet the case. Something hasn't arrived, but some of it is already touched the shore. So there's something familiar, there's something that you are comfortable with, there's something that you really enjoy, someone that you know that has already touched the shore for you. It's like touching base, right? Or like tag, something like that. And there's another part that hasn't. But until they come, until both of them have arrived, you're not in the state of totality, and something is being occulted, so hidden from view. It's what you're waiting on. Let's see what that thing is, really. I believe it's in love. But I mean, it feels strange to tell you you'd be waiting for a second person. I'm not too sure what this is. What card is this? The moon? The moon. Look. You see, there's more moon energy with the eclipse and this moon card. Something is hidden. I'm going to pull some more. Please show us what is really hidden. What is Leo waiting for to feel total in love within this relationship that feels as partially arrived? Or Nine of Wands in reverse. I just heard for a pact. I mean, it doesn't make sense typically with the more traditional interpretation of the Nine of Wands, because you wouldn't necessarily be making an agreement on this card. But it's like a truce. That's why. It's like some form of healing, some truce. That's why I said pact maybe. And then here we have the Page of Wands in reverse. Pages are in reverse. Something is not at maturity yet. I want to look at the card. Something feels emotional with the Moon card here. There's a squabble. So there is some form of undercurrent, obviously, hidden from view with the eclipse. I just heard there's something that needs to be coined. Which is really a side story, because then we're looking more into like almost a business message. But maybe there's something there about the agreement or the truce or the pact. There's something that needs to be settled. The Nine of Wands in reverse here is a strange energy, at least in this reading. I'm going to pull one more card on the Nine of Wands. I'm not sure it's really healing. I'm not sure it's about it's not about recovery, not really. It's about settling. I'm not sure why. It's so strange. And someone needs to be patient about coming to terms for the settlement, because there are things that are still not spoken, still not out in the open with the moon and the eclipse energy. You, Leo, have to keep working very regularly, diligently, even if you don't feel the full, like you're not totally feeling the sense of totality that is expressed here. It's coming, it's what you're working towards, but it's still not fully felt. One card on the Nine of Wands in reverse, please. There's a piece missing for the settlements. It's something about communication, maybe the fine print, but it would definitely be related to what is being communicated between two people. We get two cards. Three of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune, they're both in reverse. There's no movement, there's no collaboration, there's no communication, there's no discussion, there's no negotiations. That's what's happening. There's no opening as well with the Page of Cups. So part of the agreement has been settled, is drafted, is agreed upon, it's been collected on, or like that part is done. Yet there's a whole other side to this equation. It's the patient. That's why it feels separate. I'm telling you, there's like two sides here. And there's something stuck, there's something not moving, there's something not being resolved or just clicked in, like just put in gear or something like that. And I think it has to do with something is being hidden, purposely, not purposely, I'm not too sure, but it's not out in the open. It's not being seen, it's not being heard, it's not being said. So, and it needs to form a unit, or it needs to form, I mean, I keep seeing the yin and the yang, right? Because of that image, but sorry for the noise. The owl. I mean, you just can't, like, this is all like, you know, the owl is like a nocturnal animal. They can see in the dark like no other, right? They're very, very stealthy because when they fly, they don't make any noise, or so little that that's how they actually hunt. They're not being heard. There's really something that is silent, quiet, that's in the dark. I just heard it's like the missing piece. I'm gonna put this owl on the eclipse. I'm not sure that you would know what it is, but I do have a feeling that you might. For some of you, you might not know what's missing, but I mean, we've established that communication is missing and there's a lack of agreement, a lack of collaboration, something is stuck, all of that. But I don't know if you know what needs to come. I don't know if you know what that other piece needs to be to complete the puzzle for you. I don't know, to create this sense of wholeness. I'm not sure if you really know what it is, or if you're giving it up, sort of patiently letting the universe work for you, not necessarily knowing what it is that needs to be settled, agreed upon, or just arrive. I'm not too sure which verb to use. It might vary for each and every one of you. But it pertains to mostly a relationship, in my eyes. But a relationship that has like something else needs to be attached to it, or like there's a missing component that might not necessarily be love related, that needs to come together to like sort of click, to make all of this click or get in gear, at least to get this wheel turning and to get these the teamwork going. And you might not agree with having the Nine of Wands become like a settlement card, but it's really what I'm sensing here. Anyways, that's my take on it tonight. Leo, I hope you got something out of it. It is mysterious because the whole energy is being hidden, so even from us here through the cards. So I guess you'll find out sooner than later, or eventually. So on that note, you know what to do. You can like, share, of course, subscribe. I'll see you soon. Thank you so much.